Greetings, I'm James Gilliland, and we're coming from East City. I know it's been a while since I've been on YouTube, but we've been very, very busy here with the conference, the 2012 Global Transformation Conference, and we had some just amazing people here. We had Anelia Benz, Tian Jia, who teaches Tiangong here. God, just trying to think of all the people. We had Mel Fabregas, Renato Longato, myself as a speaker. Oh God, who are the other speakers? I'm trying to think of all the different speakers there. I know I have their faces right here, but the names are not coming. But anyway, just thinking of all the different speakers. We tried to get Dean Clifford here. He didn't make it across the border. He got stopped at the border, but he was practicing his beliefs about freedom and independence, and so kudos to that. But his attempts to get across the border with a Bible and sworn affidavits and a car with his own license plates on it didn't quite pan out the way we were hoping. So anyway, but he gave it the try, and we have to totally get behind him on that. We had Neil Kramer, John Kelly. I'm trying to think, am I missing anybody? Who am I missing? Who else was a speaker here?
Roberto Longato.
Yeah, Renato. Yeah, Renato Longato. I think I said it. But anyway, it was an amazing event. Just incredible event. And I think the highlight of the event was the panel discussion for me. And what I did is I had Anelia Benz on one side and Tian Jia on the other side, and these are two feminine powerhouses. And the message started coming through was about the divine feminine and the power of the divine feminine, and how we need to become more subjective to that energy and more supportive of that energy, because we both have the subjective objective balance within ourselves, the yin yang, male female. And it's time for the patriarchal program to step aside and allow the divine feminine to come in. All the cultures, the native cultures and indigenous cultures are all talking about this time where it's the divine feminine start, respecting the earth, Mother Earth, and creating this shift where we get back into the heart and get into service But I mean, having these two women on both sides of me, I could feel the whole collective consciousness of man going through a shift, and it was my shift as well. And I started getting tears and everything. And the message that came to me was so strong, was that men need to find the courage to cry, and that because it's not courage, it's not manly to hide from your emotions, to hide from your spirit, to hide from the real power is love. Love's the ultimate power in the universe, and that love's been blocked, and it's been so blocked and suppressed and not allowed to be expressed through men, because it was seen as a form of weakness over the years. That's the big problem on the planet right now, is the divine feminine has been suppressed for so long. And not just in the outer world, but within the inner world as well, within all of us. And so it's time for us to get in touch with that loving, nurturing aspect of ourselves, and start being kind and loving to ourselves and others, and start moving in that direction. As far as Independence Day, I want to talk about that. We'll go deeper into this later, but everybody's asking about how our court case went. It's kind of auspicious that we had our court case on the 3rd. The day before Independence Day. And that's what this court case is all about. And we were told by the city council that we do not have the right to practice our spiritual beliefs. We do not have the right to privacy. We don't have the right to freedom of speech. We don't have the right to assembly. We were told point blank that on the ranch here we have none of those rights. And to me, that nullifies right away this council, because they've breached their contract, they've breached their oaths. And I don't know what country they're living in, but I don't think we lost the war with Nazi Germany. and but they seem to be acting. You know, they have a lot of Napoleon complexes. You give people a little bit of power, and they usually abuse it. But in this court case, we're going to go further into that. There was so much support. We had Amelia Benz's group praying and doing intention experiments on it. You know, we had Tian Jia's group and her energy here, holding the energy, and the whole ESETI group. I mean, there had to be a minimum of 50 to 100,000 people behind us, you know, saying enough's enough. It's time to allow the spiritual evolution of humanity and the earth to come forward, and that's really what this is all about. This is about the old control systems of the powers that were falling, stepping aside and coming into their integrity and realizing that they're here to serve humanity. They're not here to serve the corporations and the other programs that they're serving. So this is the phase that we're in right now. We're the microcosm of the macrocosm, and in bringing all of the attention and support to what's happening here at ESETI is going out like a wildfire. It's exponentially going out across the globe through the collective consciousness, and people are really starting to say, wait a second, you know, we can do this too, you know. So it's kind of an interesting thing. You know, I told my good friend Michael Tellinger was here, and had an amazing opening here on empowerment by the higher dimensional beings. And when he was here, they were telling him that, you know, whether you win or lose this case, where you're going after the banks and holding the banks at task for all the enslavement through dependency they've been doing without giving anything of value, and they've just been creating debt and enslaving people. You know, I told him, I said, you know, whether you win or lose, I said, I'm getting like 50 emails a day from 50 different sources promoting your work and saying, awesome, let's support this guy, let's get this out. So it's not about winning or losing, it's about educating and empowering people, and that's what it's all about. And so on this 4th of July, I really want to talk about sovereignty and what our founding fathers really wanted for us. These guys were enlightened. When they wrote that Constitution, that is a divine act. And it's an amazing, it's just an amazing doctrine. It needs to be honored. It's just being tread on, torn up, shredded by the present administration, and the past few before that have just shredded it to pieces, and it's time for it to come forward again. And it's very important for us to start becoming educated that you do have unalienable rights. There were God-given rights. Even before the Constitution, they just put them on paper. But you have certain rights, and you definitely have the right to live a thoroughly loving, joyous life in peace and freedom. I mean, those are God-given rights, and nobody has the right to take that from you. And so all these old programs of being enslaved through dependency, all these control programs, the powers that were, their dynasties are all falling apart right now. They're transitioning, and they cannot match the frequency that the Earth is going to. And so they're not frequency specific. These organizations and the people that are behind them are not frequency specific to where the Earth is going. So it is impossible for them to make it through these changes. There's no way they're going to make it. And all they're doing is building more karma, and they're taking the downward spiral, and they're sending themselves deeper and deeper into the pit. But that's their choice. You know, that's where they're going. The Earth is being hit by, I've talked about this, we had 6 back-to-back coronal mass ejections hitting the Earth, CMEs, M-class flares coming in. You know, just recently, right before the 4th of July, I think there's some coming in now. I haven't updated it, but we're seeing, just as I said before, when these solar flares and coronal mass ejections hit, they affect the bioelectric fields around the human body. They energize you. They bring up all the old wounds and traumas and things that you need to let go of, the things that aren't frequency specific with your God self, your higher self. So they also create severe weather. And I think it's hilarious that DC is totally out of power right now. They have no light there. Like, go figure. You know what? You know, they haven't had any light there for a long time, and now it's